an impromptu trip to the high desert with 3, maybe 4 mountains getting ready to summit in the next 24 to 36 hours. Here's number 1, the fog setting in. Let's do this. Just the beginning here, went up probably, I don't know, 50, 75 stairs. Just the beginning, but fog setting in. Looks pretty cool. See what happens. It'll probably burn off here in a little bit with the sun coming down, but it's kind of chilly up here for sure. Like 35 degrees right now. So we'll see what it's like towards the top. So this particular part of the trail, coming up here to the top, obviously the fog is kind of gone. Nice and clear. You can see that sun is coming out, busting through the fog. I love the desert though. It's been a while since I've been on the desert in the PCT, and of course in Washington and Oregon. You know, a lot of my training for the PCT was done there, but you can always see the trail ahead of you, what you're about ready to walk on. Sometimes that sucks because it could be intimidating, but other times it's just cool to know where you're going and be able to look back and see where you came from. Here's a cool view. Fog moving through. Those clouds and fog setting in right there in the valley, and then a clear right there with the mountains here, little hills and such in the background. What an epic view. Man, I love the desert. This is so freaking awesome. This is normally something you see like at really tall mountains, you know, 6,000 feet in the air plus, and this is nowhere near that. It's just a small mountain and we're not even up that high yet. But these clouds below us, wow, that is freaking awesome right there. So in the distance is Rattlesnake, and in between there, you can barely see it coming out of the fog, is Candy Mountain. On Badger Mountain right now, and then McBee Hill might be, which is called a hill, but it's actually the steepest of all of them, about 21% grade. But these are the mountains I was doing a lot of training on before going to the PCT, because they're all pretty steep. Candy's not too steep, but the rest of them are all pretty good and steep or long. So they're good desert mountains, and a perfect day to come here with the way this clouds and fog is hanging out here. But getting close to the top, right up here where the towers are, that's the top. all the mountains, so we're getting close to there. But I love this view where you can see Rattlesnake. That's one of my favorite little mountains to climb around. Good old desert hiking, no trees, just nice dry trail. You can see this goes straight down into the fog and everything there. The clouds, just beautiful area. So you're gonna get to see like all the different mountains summited here in the next 24 to 36 hours on this video. And it looks like we're getting for some really nice weather and epic views. Carrying on. Look at all these little people walking. And there's a little more people down there, little tiny people. Lane just summited her second mountain. Woohoo! So there's the top of Badger Mountain. Nice steep climb, but kind of a short trail up the mountain, but that's why we're doing 3, 4 possibly in the next 24 hours. So beautiful views up here with these clouds and fog, but time to descend now. Go to the next one. Badger Mountain is in the bag. Coming down Badger Mountain right now. Clouds still over on this side with the fog in the valley with the beautiful clouds up in the sky. Coming down this trail, nice desert scenery. We come over here and it's nice and clear, looking down into the town. And those nice cool clouds above. Coming up here, nice trail. Nice towers up at the summit. My beautiful Lane. She was blowing a kiss at me, by the way, not you guys. See you at the bottom. All right, here we are in Southern California. I'm joking. Candy Mountain, high desert, second mountain, the one you seen in the middle, when it's on top of Badger. As you can see though, it looks like Southern California desert. Doesn't feel like it. Freaking cold out here, 32 degrees. It's supposed to be in the mid 40s or something, definitely not. But this is gonna be cool because we're socked in right now with the fog and the clouds. So all that stuff you've seen in that middle mountain, just the top of that mountain was peeking through, we're in all that right now. By the time we get to the top, we should be out in the sun looking down on the clouds again. So it's a small mountain, not a whole lot of elevation, but enough for a little workout. And it's gonna be fun to get to this top of another summit today with 1, maybe 2 more to go. But gonna be some good views up at top at least. All right, let's do it. Not out of the fog yet. Still walking through the fog and the clouds, but up here it's starting to clear up a little. Down there still in it, over here still in it, but there's the sun following. Ah, it looks so awesome with this fog surrounding this desert terrain. Love these bushes. I wish I knew what these bushes were called, but you would think all the desert hiking I've done that I would know this, but I'm not the botanist guy. I'm the hiking guy, the mountain dude. I just look at this stuff and enjoy it and take it all in, but I have no idea what it's called. I'm sure somebody will know it, and we'll leave it in the comments. But we're getting closer to the top, so it should be breaking pretty soon and get some pretty cool views. So right there's where it came from. You can see the fog is starting to clear out a little bit up here. Well over halfway up. Beautiful views. Gets even better up top, obviously, which is right up there. Right there. Boom. So it's starting to open up, start being able to see some of these better views looking down. So this is where we're coming from, almost to the top. Candy Mountain. Just a small mountain, but still really cool, especially with all this fog. Right over there, that's the top of Badger, where we just came from. So Kate went up there, came back down, going to Candy, and here it's starting to break up with the clouds over top, but look how freaking cool this looks. And coming up here, you can see the top way up there. It's not even way up there, just a little bit up there. And right there is what the sky looks like above the fog, so once we get up here, we're going to really see that. After that last little video clip, it did sock us back in again, but then opened up right here. And these clouds over here, that fog and everything, that looks so freaking cool. It looks like a windstorm or something in Texas or New Mexico. It's not, it's just fog, but the way it's like kicking up in the little swirls, it looks like it's a windstorm. Let's hope it's not a windstorm. Pretty sure it's not. That would be yellow right now. I love this area because you get up on top of a mountain, you see storms in every which direction sometimes, and sometimes you just see fog that's coming and going, you're walking above it. I mean, this isn't even that big of a mountain. I think it's like, I don't know, 2,000 maybe? Just a little 2,000 footer. So it's not too bad at all, but still high enough to see the fog and everything, like breaking up and, you know, walking through it and then, you know, getting on top of it. So these views are going to get really epic here soon, I think. So getting closer to the top, it's like right there in sight. Sure, you can see in the background here, a lot of breakouts of the fog, a lot of open spots. Still a lot of parts where it is foggy as well. Looks so freaking cool when you can see it coming in and out. And then, of course, you know, you get over here and you see the top of Badger where we just came from. That's just so cool when you could see it where you came from. A lot more satisfying than when you are seeing where you're going. When you know that you just made it from there. You went all the way up that and down it, and now you're almost up to the next mountain. There are smaller mountains, but you know what? It's all relative. No big deal. You're still summiting, you're still beating something. I'm telling you, these are a little steeper than most mountains, especially, or trails, I should say. Especially, you know, the PCT where it's graded and never gets above 10%. Badger itself was probably 16% in the beginning, so tough little climb. And Lane is about ready to get her second summit in one day. She's never done that before. That's a pretty epic opportunity there and accomplishment. So getting ready to get to the top of this and seeing if we have time to do maybe one more today before calling it a day. Lane with her second summit of the day. How do you feel?
Very proud.
Woohoo! I'm proud to you, baby. So this is unfortunately the top of the summit, but it's all socked in again. So you can see coming up a little bit of it, but fog is kind of raised, so definitely socked in. But there's that lovely tower that you love to see when you get to the top of a mountain. It's like, ooh, I'm there! Woohoo! Candy Mountain is in the bag. All right, so Badger Mountain, Candy Mountain, and now getting ready to do McBee Hill, which is literally a mountain that's bigger and much steeper than the other two. But for some reason, they call it a hill, and that's cool. But again, in the desert, high desert. You can see it's covered with the fog. Right up there is McBee Hill. I don't think there's going to be really many views up there because the fog seems to be socked in here a little better. But the thing about this one is I did this training for the PCT, and it is by far the steepest thing I've ever done. It's not that far, like a mile up, and then another 3 or 4 miles coming down because it's a lot less grade. Coming down, if you go through the canyon, great, beautiful views, but going up it is about 0.8 or 1 mile, I forget exactly what, but it's like 1,000 to 1,100 feet of elevation. That's about a 21% grade. I remember it broke me that day. I made it up, but good grief, I had to slow down and stop a lot. It was much warmer that day. It's cold again today, 34, 35 degrees. I'm doing this one on my own, just pushing up real quick and coming back down. Not going the long way, I'm coming down the steep hill, coming up the side of the mountain, so that's going to be tough on its own. But going up, it's going to be tough. Being the third one of the day, 21% grade. I'm a little out of breath right now just thinking about it, but it's already started inclining, so yep. It's going to be fun. McBee Hill, here I come. That fog settling in the valley there, the canyon, just looks so gorgeous. What a great day. Part of it's sun above the fog, part of it just fog and clouds, but beautiful everywhere. Third mountain peak, hill peak, whatever you want to call it, peak nonetheless. It's funny, the one called the hill is the toughest one, but I love the push, I love the grind. This will be the last one of the day, and I'm going to do another one first thing in the morning, and that's going to be the longest one. It's only like about 2,000 of incline, if I remember right, but it's definitely a longer one, so do that one in the morning. That's going to be 4 peaks in 24 hours. I love it. So these views are awesome. This is not the summit. It goes beyond that. But these views are awesome, man. Freaking awesome. Feeling on top of the world, baby. Definitely a hard push right now. I'm making it good, making good time. But as you can see, getting kind of in the fog now, so the views aren't quite as good here, but that's all right. I'm just focused on getting to the top right now. Oh man, it's stinking steep. And right now I'm definitely feeling it in my hips and in my calves. Like had a couple times there that was just on the border of some cramps. So didn't like that a whole lot. But drank some water, continuing on. Glad this is the last one of the day. And I'm glad that most of the time I won't have to deal with 21% grade. It is tough. Definitely handling this a lot better than last time though, because I had to keep stopping, sitting down. Weird thing is when you do stop, like I'll stop to get a drink, you almost feel like you're going backwards. It's like falling backwards because it's so steep and you're trying to keep your balance on that steep of a hill. And going down the same hill, that's not going to be exactly a whole lot of fun. So, see how that goes. But I know that this is not the summit up here, but it's getting close to like the first fall summit, if I remember right. I think I'm about halfway right now. It's about 500 or 600 feet in about half a mile at this point. Somewhere up there's the top. It's so foggy, you can't really see. And I have to come down this hill, which you can't see. Whew, it's all about the workout here, not about the views. But oh my goodness, this is tearing my calves up. So this right where I'm standing now looked like it might be the top. It was not, but it's clearing out up here at the top, and we're starting to get to some epic looking stuff. It's all fog and clouds, but then you come this direction and check this out. Oh my Lord. Oh, it's so worth it. The pain is always worth it. Wow. I hope you can see what's behind me and all around me, because I'm coming closer to the top. I'm about 80%, if not 90% there. I'm winded, but good grief, I'm much stronger than the first time I did this at the beginning of the PCT training for it. I have not had to sit down and take a break or anything except the random stop to get a drink, or as I'm video recording a clip, I might stop for a second just because I didn't want to do both at the same time in a certain spot. But I'm strong. It's hurting my calves and my hips. So that's why we do this. Train for the Appalachian coming up in a few weeks. Killing this 21%er. Woo! But this is gorgeous. Here I am at the summit of McBee Hill. Beautiful. Over there is Mount Rainier. You can't see it right now because of the clouds. But look at this. Look at these clouds just hanging down. And I just walked through all of those clouds. This is freaking epic. Wow. What a beautiful, beautiful hike up here today. So over here, these two hills, right next to McBee Hill, and you can see the trail going there. That is actually the easier way down on this trail to come down without going down the steep part of the mountain. That's what I did last time. Beautiful views of the canyon down there. But with these clouds and everything, you wouldn't be able to see much once you got down, a little lower than that second one, it looks like. But man, when you get over there, you can see this mountain I'm on, this McBee Hill. I call it a mountain, even though it's McBee Hill. Well, that sun is bright. But you can really see the steepness of it from over there. It's like this. You don't notice as much when you're climbing up it. It just looks like you're climbing, and obviously the video definitely does not do it justice seeing it. But man, busting through those clouds and that fog to see this, epic stuff. So glad I did this. It's the last one of today. Probably going to take a nice bath tonight before I hit that long one tomorrow. Me and Lane hitting Rattlesnake Mountain, and this could be a great hike through the canyon and up a mountain, about 2,000 feet of elevation, and 4 different climbs in a 24-hour period. Loving it. All right. So I don't have a Mountain Dew at this one because I already drank it all, but McBee Hill is in the bag. Woo! Let the descent begin. It's kind of funny going down here. Looks a little scary, but it's really not, because there's nothing like right on the edge of a drop off or anything. But when you get to the bottom of this little part here, which is I think the second false summit, maybe the first one, I don't know, going backwards, get confused, but it just looks like it drops off into the clouds, because that's where the fog and clouds are. It's kind of funny, but I'm gonna take my time going down, because this is pretty steep, but at least it's not too slippery or too rocky here, so not sandy or anything like that, so should go pretty good, but won't be much videoing on the way down. All right, see you on the next one on top of Rattlesnake, or climbing Rattlesnake. When you can't see more than 20 or 30 foot in front of you and you're going down 21% grade and gravity's pushing you, it's a little nerve-wracking. Going as slow as a 90-year-old guy. Actually, a 90-year-old guy would probably be passing me right now. But I'm being safe. I'm more than halfway down, so I'll be back down soon and on to the next mountain here in a few hours in the morning. So again, I will see y'all on Rattlesnake. Good morning. Going up Rattlesnake. Just got here to the trailhead. This is going to be my 4th summit. Not quite the same kind of summit, because the very top of Rattlesnake is actually owned by one of the native reservations out here, and they don't let it be open to the public. So this summit actually goes up as high as you can actually go without getting to the top of the very tippity top of the mountain. But it's still a great climb, great desert climbing on a mountain, and through the canyon and everything. So it's a great little hike to make that 4th one in 24 hours. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Oh my goodness, it's so desolate right now because of the fog. It's like a strong fog advisory till like 10 o'clock or so. I think it's about 7:30 or 8 right now. But yeah, over there, it's all rolling hills. Over here is where the top of Rattlesnake is. Last time I was here, just up here, you come up here and then it goes that way is where the trail actually starts, just kind of just a lead up from the parking lot, the trailhead. But there was a snake that made me almost jump out of my skin, because it was not a rattlesnake. Ironically, on Rattlesnake Mountain, it was not a rattlesnake, but it was big and long, and it just came out of nowhere and went scurrying across instead of running from me, like almost ran across my feet. I remember I jumped pretty good, and it stopped, and I got it on video, so that was pretty cool. It let me take its picture. But the first time I came here is where I've seen my first mountain lion / cougar. It was like in a cave, and I was going to go explore the cave, and then I seen its head pop out and just look at me, and I'm like, I'm not even going to grab a camera or my phone to take a picture. I'm out of here. I walked backwards for like a quarter mile, half mile, watching to make sure it didn't come after me. It never did. It just kind of hung out in that little cave. But that was my first time I ever seen one. So definitely some good memories of this place. But I love this little hike out here. It's only like 10, 11 miles. 1,500 to 2,000 of elevation. Really don't remember the exact amount, but it's a good little hike. But it's pretty foggy right now, a little drizzle going on, but it's going to be a fun time. So let's get it going. So there's all kinds of poop out here right now, and all different. Some coyote, looks like some was fox, seen some deer, but this here is very bear-like. But it's not very much. Just dropped my glasses here. But it's not very much, so I don't think it is a bear, unless it's just a baby bear, or some of it got tracked away. But the little nuts and fruits and stuff like that's kind of a giveaway a lot of times with bear. And there's definitely bear out here. As you can see, still very foggy. Still climbing up. It might open up a little bit. Fog might start dissipating some, but we'll see. Just started to climb, about half a mile in. Nothing too much during this part. Have had a few spurts of elevation, but then you get to this like canyon part where you're kind of, going around the hills and everything, and you could see the trails down there. So it's a lot of up and over, and then you start going down again. So it's really just a nice long hike going up through the canyons, and then a little elevation towards the end. So nothing bad at all. Very spread out. Nothing super strenuous like last night at McBee Hill and everything, but so you can see the views here a little bit. Little cliff thing there. Trail kind of wraps around all of that. Comes down here. And by that point, you're coming over here. You go through more canyon, then you're kind of going up on those hills all the way to the near top of Rattlesnake. Really cool views up there, so hopefully it'll open up by the time it gets there. Crossing down in the little valley here before starting to climb back up around all that, going into some more canyon, like rocks and basalt, etc. So here's the edges of the hills that lead up to the false peak there in Rattlesnake. Very fogged in, socked in, as you can see. It might be clearing up a little, or just might be moving a little bit for now, because if you get over here to where the canyons are, all that dark that you see down there, right there, that's all the canyons where we came up from. Heading back now out of here. It's just a little too foggy today, so we're going to head back about 3.5 miles or so out, heading back now. And if you hear any guns in the background, it's right next to a shooting range, so that's what that is. Don't worry, we're not being shot at. But I'll probably show you some more views on the way out. But over there, which you cannot see, that's Rattlesnake Mountain. Yeah, those views aren't going to be happening today, though. It looks like this is like pretty much just permanent today, it looks like. So it's funny that this all looks like just a big field, and it's all like dipped down, up and down right through there. You can see a little bit of this coming in, like I said, but still pretty foggy. Starting to open up a little bit more over there. Looks cool on the way out. Back here, Rattlesnake, the top, the peak. This is obviously all part of Rattlesnake. I mean, that's why it's called Rattlesnake. It looks like a snake. Obviously climbing up there, so forth. But yeah, that's going to be socked in pretty good. So we really got a good view of that today. But as you can see, that looks pretty cool. A lot of texture to it. Rolling hills. Lane had the perfect analogy of it. It looks like silk. It's exactly what it looks like. Nice and flowing. But one thing, I've been here 3 or 4 other times. I think it's my 4th time being here, and it looks different every time. But the one thing that I'm really noticing is there is so much scat here. I've seen bear scat at least twice. I'm pretty sure mountain lion twice. It could have been bobcat, but it looked like a little too much for bobcat. So I'm pretty sure it was some kind of mountain lion, but it might not have been. Not for sure, but a lot of elk or deer. I'm not real up on my elk or deer poop. I'm not really sure. But then there was another one. Like, I have no idea what that was. It was just weird. I think I seen one that was either fox or coyote. I don't really know the difference of those two either. I mean, I've definitely seen coyote quite a bit, on the PCT, but not fox too much. I don't know if they look similar or not, but definitely a lot of scat, a lot of deer, possibly some elk, bear a couple times. So they definitely must have a lot of food out here to have that much wildlife just, scatting everywhere.